Tonight, here we go. After 28 years of waiting, Scotland's return to the World Cup is now just hours away. We're here with an hour-long special as we prepare to take on Haiti, bringing you the build-up from the team, proud parents and the fans at home and in the US.
Tens of thousands of fans have made the trip across the pond, ready to witness a World Cup decades in the making.
Brilliant. All my sons and my grandsons are here.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
I'll be live with tonight's sport from pitchside here in the Boston Stadium. Will this be the venue that Scotland get their first World Cup win since 1990?
And we'll have your messages of support for the team.
No Scotland, no God! Come on, Scotland!
I'm Amy Irons in Boston, Massachusetts.
And I'm Laura Goodwin in the Reporting Scotland studio. Well, it would be an understatement to say it's been a long time coming. Scotland last played in a World Cup 28 years ago. That's more than 330 months, more than 1,400 weeks, 10,000 days. Yes, we have been counting. In those long years, there have been lots of dashed hopes and disappointment. But this time, Scotland will take their place at the biggest footballing competition in the world. The squad take on Haiti in the early hours of Sunday morning our time. Juliet Dunlop will be in Glasgow ahead of a huge fan party there. And Lewis is at the Boston Stadium in Foxborough with all the latest team news. But first, let's cross live to Amy in Boston City Centre, which has experienced something of a tartan takeover. Amy.
Good evening, Laura. Good evening to you all at home from Boston, where, yes, as you said, Laura, more than 10,000 days since Scotland's men were last at a World Cup. We can finally say it is just one day to go until we see the men return to the world stage. We're here at Scotland House, as you say, a bit of a tartan takeover. Scotland fans, this is the official pre-match warm-up for the fans, you could describe it. It almost has a sense of it being like Christmas Eve. There's so much excitement, albeit 32-degree heat is a little bit different and not conditions that Scotland fans are used to. But while the party is certainly getting going here, a few miles away, Steve Clarke and the squad will no doubt be returning back to their hotel very soon ahead of that game tomorrow at Boston Stadium, which is coming round ever quickly. And I think whether you're the fans, the player, the manager, fans here in Boston, fans back at home, there's this real sense of excitement as we get closer to a day that many of us thought we might never see. Here's our sports news correspondent, Chris McLaughlin.
The waiting is over. For Scotland, after almost 3 decades in the World Cup wilderness, it's party time in the USA.
No Scotland, no party!
And for a nation where football is everything, these fans will stop at nothing to soak up every second of it.
I've just came from Australia with my son Aaron to meet my family, my brother Chris.
Brother from Prestwick.
My stepdad, my mum.
It means everything. It's like pride of Scotland. Been 28 years was the last time. Last time I was only a wee lad.
It's brilliant. All my sons and my grandsons are here.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
The last time, France 98, the year the Euro was born and Google was founded. Generations have missed out. Some thought it might never come again. Disappointment on the pitch was becoming a national pastime. So many matches, so many hopes, so many nights of pain.
Let's hope that we don't let them down.
His thoughts shared by the thousands who have come from across the globe. Some on one flight, others on many more. Drawn by football, driven by a pride in a nation that is unapologetic in its desire to show the world how to party.
The Tartan Army will win the World Cup. Mark my words. The Tartan Army, that is Scotland's passionate and perfectly unhinged fan base, they're going to steal the show.
And despite the distance, the politics and the cost, it's a trip some felt they couldn't afford to miss.
Come on!
We don't qualify very often. A lot of fans maybe feel that like this may be their only chance to go and support Scotland at a World Cup, so they have to come out here regardless of the cost, which again I'm going to say it, the costs are far too high.
The World Cup experience for a new generation is about to begin. Memories to be made in Massachusetts, Miami, and perhaps even beyond. For now, buckle up Boston, Scotland are back.
And given it's been such a long wait for Scotland to return to a World Cup, it's no surprise just some of the lengths that some fans have gone to. We've seen fans using their life savings, selling vinyl collections, flying from as far afield as Australia, some arriving for just a matter of hours because they just could not miss this generational moment. And Stephen Gordon has been finding out why, for some fans, getting here has taken everything they've got.
At the only Scottish pub in Boston, the big build-up is well underway, led by a piper who's flown in specially from Tain.
The Star Spangled Banner goes down really well, but they're loving the kilts, the vibes, the stories about the plane running out of beer, like the Scottish fans coming over. I think they're loving the whole vibe we're bringing, the whole buzz.
Now the tournament has begun, Scotland fans have to wait their turn. Seeing the sights is a good distraction from any pre-Haiti nerves.
Come to Boston, you have to go to Cheers, right?
It's iconic.
Yeah,
it is iconic, but Big Norm was near there, so
and
I was pretty
also,
gutted,
we
like.
came here because everybody knows our name.
Have you ever watched Cheers?
No, I've no clue what it is.
You going to watch it now after being here?
Probably no.
Everywhere you go, every pub you get into, you find Scottish people, and it's just really good fun.
No Scotland, no
A sports town is how the people of Boston describe it. But what do they make of their latest visitors?
I like to see them in traditional dresses. Yeah. You know, they're, what do you call it?
Kilts.
Kilt.
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 I think it's pretty cool that Boston was able to land Scotland. I mean, I know France is across the way, but, you know, there's a big Irish community here, and it just kind of, Scotland fits the mold.
Just the energy right here is pretty cool. I will say that. Everyone looks happy. They're enjoying themselves. It makes me happy walking by them.
With each passing hour, the Tartan Army grows in number. Adding to their ranks is Nick MacDonald, who's flown 30 hours from Perth, Western Australia, to join old friends from Motherwell.
There was a point I thought, is this worth it?
It's been 27 hours since I was last asleep, and as you can see, a little bit tired.
It was a long journey. I'd just come off obviously a shift, and I thought I'll stay awake, which probably wasn't a good idea at the time. But you know what? Why not? Just do it.
Other fans are cutting it fine to make kick-off. Scott Kippen isn't setting off from Dumfries until tomorrow morning.
I got a ticket for the price I wanted, and I thought, no, just do it. You can always make a little bit more money, but you can't always make some memories, and you only live once. So I thought the fear of missing out would have been too much.
But Scotland don't have the monopoly on fan colour and national pride. Boston is home to a large Haitian population. For them, the World Cup shifts the conversation away from gang violence in Haiti, travel bans and deportations.
After 52 years, it has been a while, so we haven't been in the World Cup since then. So it means a lot with everything that we have been through with like Trump and immigration. I think it's our time to show people what we can do.
In the steamy New England heat, there's plenty of nervous energy to burn as the countdown continues. Stephen Gordon reporting Scotland, Boston.
So many fans hoping that it is worth it. Well, our sports news correspondent Chris McLaughlin has been across this story from the very beginning of the Scotland journey. And Chris, I mean, I think we're getting a sense of the magnitude of it here. Hundreds of Tartan Army fans at Scotland House. How have you assessed how big this World Cup is for the fans?
Well, first of all, I'm quite concerned for the fans because it is absolutely baking hot here. Look, I remember being asked this question before the game in Munich against Germany for the Euros, and I was saying that this is about so much more than football. Yes, of course, football is the vehicle for this, but I spoke to so many families here in Boston yesterday, and it's all about them, you know, sharing their memories and having a new generation having those memories, because everyone of a certain age remembers France '98. Also, we're a very proud nation, and if we can't be the best on the pitch, we want to make sure we are the very best off the pitch. But you also get the feeling, speaking to people out here, because not everyone can come out, that they're representing the whole country out here in Boston, and they're determined to have a blast on their behalf.
Well, we're certainly seeing many of them having a blast over the last couple of days, Chris. What do you think in terms of the expectation on this squad? Because for so long it was just about getting to tournaments. Steve Clarke has done that with the 2 Euros, now getting to this World Cup. But there's a lot of pressure on them to actually go out there and perform.
There is, and you're right. I mean, Scotland fans coming to watch their team for so often have come more in hope than expectation. But I think you're right. I think there is an expectation this time around because, you know, the qualifying games have been very good. We finished top of the group. And also Steve Clarke and the players saying they have learned the lessons from the Euros. And I think the fans here will be determined to see some evidence of that. Look, they couldn't have had a better game to start with, the game that they really have to win. But it's the same for Haiti, and I get the feeling, speaking to Steve Clarke, speaking to the players, that they see this first game tomorrow in Boston as a World Cup final, not just for, or their World Cup final, not just for Scotland, but also for Haiti.
Yeah, they want to start strong, don't they? Chris McLaughlin, our Sports News correspondent, thank you very much. That is all from Boston and Scotland House right now, Laura. We'll be back with plenty more later in the programme.
Brilliant work. Thank you, Amy, very much indeed. Well, Boston's fine, isn't it? But let's be honest, the real parties will be here in Scotland. From pubs to homes and to hospitals, people are getting ready for a once-in-a-generation match. Scottish energy companies say they're expecting a 5 to 10% increase in overnight electricity demand, with large-scale screenings planned all over the country into the wee small hours. Gillian Sharp reports.
Finishing touches at this Paisley Bar and Club. What was once a blank wall now boasts a mural celebrating the Scotland men's return to the World Cup. At this pub in Condorit in North Lanarkshire, they've been decorating for more than a week. They say the atmosphere in the run-up has been brilliant. There are 180 pies on order for half-time.
It's all locals, it's a local community pub. We've went really all out with the decor. We've added in extra TVs, we've got projectors coming for next door as well. Pies for half-time from our local baker. It's really just the community coming behind Scotland. Even people that don't bother with football are wanting tickets, they're coming down because it doesn't happen.
A bit of last-minute shopping for some in Aberdeen. They can't wait for the weekend ahead.
Just excited, it's brilliant, something that I've never experienced. Something you always want to happen, it's just never got there, so yeah, buzzing for it.
Brilliant, we've got to win it. I've got it on, I've got Scotland on to win the tournament outright.
I think it's very special because we've obviously not seen it before, so it'll be good.
Cooking up traditional Haitian dishes at home in Edinburgh, Nalani and her family are preparing to host a Haitian cultural event on Saturday ahead of the match.
I'm Haitian, I'm in Scotland, they're playing each other. The fact that before now, Haiti and Scotland didn't feature in conversations, you know, as one thing, and now it's everywhere. Everyone's talking about Haiti and Scotland. It's a big positive vibe, and so I'm very happy to celebrate this with my family, and I may not ever get to do it again.
At this rehab facility for older people in Glasgow, it's any excuse for a party. They've already been celebrating Scotland at the World Cup. 86-year-old Thomas Anderson is really looking forward to it all.
I was going to say I'd be jumping about, but I can't jump about. But I'll just be sitting and I'll be saying to myself, come on Scotland, you can do this. They should have a good chance of getting into the next round at least, you know, and I hope so, fingers crossed.
And in Edinburgh, the message from one of the star players is choose Scotland. Gillian Sharp, reporting Scotland.
Well, one of the biggest events for fans to watch in Scotland will be at the Hydro in Glasgow, and Juliette Dunlop is there for us. Juliette, this is going to be a party of epic proportions. How are preparations going?
It is indeed, Laura. Now, we know the Hydro is used to hosting some pretty big names. Earlier this week, it was the turn of Barry Manilow. Last night, it was UB40. But yes, this weekend, Scotland will take centre stage. Now, this space looks pretty empty just now. That's because they've been busy de-rigging in here after last night's concert. But what you can see here, well, that is the start of the new stage taking shape. And this time tomorrow night, well, a giant TV screen will be in place, and that means the thousands of fans who've already snapped up tickets to watch the game here, well, they certainly will be able to watch it in style. Something around 5,000, I'd say, so far, but more tickets expected to go. Now, before kick-off, there will also be entertainment, including live music. Whether that helps with the nerves or not of fans, I'm not sure, but they can expect a pretty emotional rendition of Caledonia by Dougie MacLean himself. And earlier I caught up with the Hydro's chief executive who told me a bit more about the night and why it promises to be so special.
What we're planning to do is have a bit of a festival beforehand. Great music, great entertainment, some good football chat, and then we'll watch the game on Scotland's biggest television screen. The artists talk about this venue having the best acoustics, the best sound, and that's as a consequence of the wonderful fans that come through here. So tomorrow night will be no different. I think we'll have 5,000 or so fans in here, even more, having a great, wonderful party, and hopefully Scotland can have some success.
Now, the Hydro, of course, not the only place hosting parties. As we know, outside of Glasgow, there are also fan zones in Aberdeen, at Dundee, Edinburgh, Perth and other places. As we also know, many pubs also staying open late, Laura. So lots of options for fans who are not making the journey across the pond but are hoping to soak up the atmosphere right here at home.
Absolutely. Juliet, thank you very much. Now, to watch your child compete at the very pinnacle of their sport is the thing of dreams. But for one family from Lothermere in Aberdeenshire, this World Cup will be extra special because not one, but two of their sons are competing, but for different countries. While John Souttar is playing for Scotland, his brother Harry is playing for Australia, where their mum was born. I went to meet their very proud parents. This is the football pitch then?
Yes, this is where it all started, I suppose.
How many hours do you reckon the boys would spend out here?
It was dark sometimes, I suppose. This wasn't to shout them in.
Well, you didn't get around to putting the floodlights in then?
No. That was phase 3.
Over the years, John and Harry Souttar have risen through the footballing ranks, playing for their school, their local teams, going professional, and then going on to represent their countries. And all the way, the family have been with them.
You want to support both kids in both countries. So we've tried to do that. The opening game at Scotland, Haiti, and then we're going across to Australia, USA, and have a couple of 2-3 days down there. And then the balls are in the air for the rest of it.
The last time Scotland played in a World Cup was France 1998. Jack went, but Heather couldn't because she was heavily pregnant and stayed home with her toddler son.
It was France. It was doable. It was fairly straightforward to organise, and then quickly all the men in the family, we're all going. It might be best if you just stayed here, just in case. So I never made it, and then I said, well, I'll go to the next one, but here we are.
All these years later, and that toddler and that baby are about to play in the World Cup.
Yeah, that's certainly a different story.
It was fairy tale stuff at that time, going across to watch the teams. Never mind watch your son playing for a team.
There is one family member who will be missing. Harry and John's older brother Aaron passed away from motor neurone disease nearly 4 years ago. What would he make of his little brothers playing in the World Cup?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. He'd be absolutely delighted, of course. He'd be one of the biggest supporters, and he'd be there just now. He'd have been there probably 2-3 weeks ago, warming up for the event.
What happens if once again the stars align and we have Scotland versus Australia?
There is a possibility of that if things do go the wrong way, possibly.
Harry and John's success is also a great source of pride for their former youth club in Brechin. Among its players, Harry and John's nephews. So who will they be supporting?
Say Scotland, but it's because it's my country. I still like Australia.
I like both of them.
Scotland.
For the Soutars, regardless of who wins the World Cup, this will be a special moment for for their family.
Memories and stories forever, and that's all you can want for families, isn't it?
Heather and John Souter there. Now, Jack Souter, beg your pardon. Now let's take a look at some of the day's other news. The Prime Minister's come out fighting after a mass resignation from his team at the Ministry of Defence in a row over funding. John Healey quit as Defence Secretary yesterday, along with the Aberdeen-born Armed Forces Minister Al Cairns and 2 junior team members, including a Scottish MP. Our political correspondent Andrew Kerr reports on the challenges facing Keir Starmer.
Is Al Cairns, the former Armed Forces Minister, on manoeuvres? The Aberdeen-born and raised politician quit the MOD in a row over the delayed Defence Investment Plan. He'd followed his boss, the Defence Secretary John Healey. They said there wasn't enough money behind the plan and that it didn't prepare Britain for modern warfare.
There's the option to come back stronger, which is to take the advice of increasing the funding in some way, shape or form over a period of time, and then review the Defence Investment Plan really, really quickly to make sure the lessons from Ukraine are embedded in that plan at the very start.
Cairns didn't rule out standing in any Labour leadership race.
And make sure my opinions are felt of how we take this country by the scruff of its neck and make it great again.
The Prime Minister swept into the Fasley Naval Base in May with no media access. His only visit to Scotland since the Labour leader here called for him to quit in February. Today he came out fighting on defence.
I can tell you now that defence will be the #1 priority at every spending review, including the next spending review. There's the additional commitment that I made at NATO last year, which was to get to 3.5% by 2035.
There's real concern in government about value for money from the MOD with hugely expensive items like the aircraft carriers. Sir Keir Starmer's also determined to fight on in the face of any challenge from Andy Burnham if he's successful in the Makerfield by-election on Thursday.
I'm not going to walk away from the commitment that I made in 2024 to serve my country and the mandate that I won from the British public in order to do so.
The defence industry is a critically important one for Scotland, such as here on the Clyde. Analysts say the row over funding has reignited concern in the sector about spending falling below expectations. But there's a wider issue here too. A stark reminder about the fragile position that Sir Keir Starmer is in and the political instability that could be about to explode. Andrew Kerr, reporting Scotland, Glasgow.
Well, another by-election being watched closely next week is Aberdeen South, triggered by Stephen Flynn's election to the Scottish Parliament. Louise Hosey has been speaking to people there.
A cruise ship at Aberdeen South Harbour, one of many expected to dock here this summer. £420 million of private and public money has been invested into this development. But port bosses say it's yet to reach its full potential and want whoever becomes Aberdeen South's new MP to help them push for that.
Last year we saw a drop in oil and gas activity of between 15 and 20%. That's quite significant.
What sort of things would you be looking for?
A removal of the energy profits levy, a relaxation on the licensing, and looking at renewable energy and offshore wind. There remains some blockages, there remains some financial and technical risks.
A stone's throw from the harbour, these Tory residents are campaigning to stop further industrialisation of this public park. They have a different view on where priorities should lie.
Diversifying the economy, not hanging on to sunset industry. Pay for kids to become electricians. Pay for apprenticeships for real skills that we need. Our granite heritage is falling apart.
In the city's main street, a range of views on what's on their minds as they prepare to vote again.
What are people in Aberdeen talking about?
Union Street. Developments that are taking too long.
The cost of living, the cost of fuel.
Try and get the oil thing moving again, try and bring more bodies here, more businesses here.
Round the corner, this shop owner has a simple message.
The major issue for us as a business would be the North Sea, because that is absolutely vital for Aberdeen and the North Sea's prosperity.
The UK government says it plans to replace the windfall tax by 2030 and is providing record investment for the North Sea.
There are 7 candidates standing in the Aberdeen South by-election. It's been held by the SNP's Stephen Flynn since 2019. However, after he secured a place in the Scottish Parliament last month, it now means this seat is up for grabs.
Louise Hosey, reporting Scotland, Aberdeen.
And on your screen now, you can see a list of all the candidates who are standing in the Aberdeen South by-election. Well, it's time for the weather forecast now. Here's Judith.
Good evening. Some glorious blue skies there across East Lothian early on. The Bass Rocks shining in the sunshine. But let's take a look at the pressure chart. The low pressure system that's brought all the showers today will eventually trundle off towards Scandinavia, allowing a high pressure system to move in from later on Saturday and into Sunday and lasting into Monday as well before this comes our way Tuesday. But as far as to this evening and tonight's concerned, a lot of showers initially, some heavy ones over the northwest. They'll keep rattling through on brisk westerly winds, the winds strong for the west coast. Eventually the showers starting to ease, drier through central, southern and eastern Scotland. Some clear spells here. Still quite a windy night, brisk winds for most of us, but that will keep temperatures up at around 10 degrees. Into tomorrow, some early sunshine for the south and southeast, but a lot of showers in the west and north. As we head through the day, the showers will pep up a wee bit across northern Scotland. So come the afternoon, still a number of showers in the north, but Shetland actually escaping dry. We'll see sunny spells here. The winds veer into the northwest, introducing cooler air. Similarly for Orkney, although we'll see 1 or 2 afternoon showers before they clear. A scattering of showers across northern Scotland with a bit more in the way of cloud. They'll push through quickly on those brisk winds, though. I think we'll see some sunshine with shelter from that northwesterly for Fife, Edinburgh, the Lothians and the Borders, but still a number of showers running up the west coast too, and still quite strong winds at times for western coastal areas, and a cool feel and exposure to that northwesterly wind. Now, the rest of the afternoon we'll still see a number of showers before they start to ease, and then as we reach Saturday evening, drier with some clear spells overnight, the showers tending to ease as well. Quite a chilly night as well, leading into a chilly start to Sunday with some early sunshine, a bit more cloud in the north as the winds veer into the north, introducing a bit more cloud, but actually a cloud building at times, but then we'll still see brighter sunny spells and some warmth in the south, but exposure to that northerly, it will feel much cooler. So what about stateside and for the football tomorrow? Well, here we've been under the influence of high pressure what seems like all week, but if we just freak across the Atlantic to the stateside, you can see they've had some showers of late. However, in saying that, it will be dry for tomorrow. They've had a lot of heat, some record-breaking June temperatures for the eastern seaboard of the USA. And for the football tomorrow, well, daytime values 32 Celsius, so very warm indeed. But for the match itself, there'll be a few degrees lower, but certainly going to be very warm, but dry and sunny. And good luck, boys. Bring it home.
Judith, thank you. Back to the World Cup now, and we've been hearing a lot this week about Scotland fans seeing their hopes and dreams dashed at the very last minute as they face being barred from travelling to the US due to issues with their travel documents. Chris McLennan has been speaking to a couple of them.
So booked up for the World Cup, excited as you like, 28 years in the waiting.
For Kenny, it's been a week of travel chaos. Last-minute changes to his travel status left him in the lurch and unsure if he would make it stateside.
By Thursday, it became pretty apparent that it was changing for very much the worse, and it said travel not authorised.
The frontman of folk rock band Torridon has spent almost £20,000 on his trip, but his entry to the US was revoked last week without an explanation. His case even made it to the House of Commons.
This poor chap is in a very, very bad situation. Can I appeal to the Secretary of State to give him and me any assistance that he can to sort this out?
Wow. But today, some relief.
What a feeling.
After a week-long battle, Kenny has been granted access to the US, allowing his dream trip to become a reality.
Well, this story is insane. The system failed us, but I tell you what, the people have come through and rescued the whole situation. I just pray that each and every Parton Army foot soldier gets there, gets their flight and gets to see their team in the World Cup.
But despite being cleared for takeoff, Kenny has run into further travel disruption and is now stuck in Dublin.
Missed my connection. Unbelievable. Took ages to get the bags off. I missed my check-in by 15 minutes, so the legs have been taken off again. Oh, this is mad.
For fellow Tartan Army foot soldier Ivan, welcome news in Belfast this afternoon.
I was almost greeting when I picked up the visa. I was just so delighted after all the trauma this week to get it resolved. So just over the moon. Got a taxi back to the airport. So sitting in the lines just now and just about to get the flights booked for tomorrow now.
Kenny and Ivan may have secured their travel in extra time, but for many others, the race to get to the US in time for kick-off is still on. Chris McLennan, reporting Scotland.
Well, we're continuing with our special edition of Reporting Scotland here on BBC One Scotland, where we'll be with you until around 7:30. We've got some wonderful things coming up, and a warning: get the tissues ready. After that, we will be handing over to our colleagues for coverage of the Canada versus Bosnia-Herzegovina game at the World Cup, which has a kick-off at 8 o'clock, so you have been warned. Now, of course, much of our focus tonight so far has been on Scotland, but what about our opponents, Haiti? We've been taking a deep dive into their credentials. This first World Cup group stage game will be the most significant match for Scotland's men's team in a generation. More than 4,000 miles from us, Haiti is in the Caribbean, east of Cuba and Jamaica, sharing a land border with the Dominican Republic, with a population of nearly 12 million. Their football team is nicknamed Le Grenadiers, a nod to the country's strong military revolutionary history. They're also known as Le Rouge et Bleu, the red and blue, due to the colour of their flag and strips. So where do they rank in world football? Well, they are the lowest ranked in our group, 83rd in the FIFA rankings, compared to Scotland, who are 40 places above them in 43. But how are they performing? In qualifying for the World Cup for only the second time in their history, Haiti had some impressive results against the likes of Costa Rica and Nicaragua, home and away. And on that, they haven't played at home in 5 years. They play their home games hundreds of miles away in Curaçao. That's due to the civil unrest and instability in Haiti in recent years, meaning it's been deemed unsafe to host matches. In fact, their manager, Sébastien Migné, led them to the World Cup without ever setting foot in the country. Who are some of Haiti's big players, past and present? Well, Duckens Nazon may not be a household name, but he is a Haitian hero in the country's record goal scorer with more than 40 goals so far. The 32-year-old will be hoping to add to those. Among the many clubs he's played for, St Mirren, where he spent 6 months on loan in 2019. Their talismanic goalie, Johnny Placide, plays for French League Two side Bastia and has played in the lower leagues in England over the course of his career. And throwing back to Haiti's previous and only World Cup appearance, Emmanuel Sanon shocked football as he scored against Italy's great goalkeeper Dino Zoff, who was on a run of keeping 12 consecutive clean sheets at the time. Despite taking the lead, Haiti would lose the match 3-1. So with that one appearance, this is how Haiti's stats on the greatest stage in football look. They'll be hoping to add some to the W and even the D columns. Let's just hope none of them are against us. At 2 o'clock on Sunday morning, our time, these two countries will take to the pitch in Foxborough in Massachusetts, USA, with Scotland ending a 28-year wait to play at a World Cup and Haiti ending a 52-year absence from the top competition. Right, let's cross to Lewis Irons at the Boston Stadium for us tonight. Lewis.
Thank you, Laura. And before I go any further, you challenged me yesterday to get on the big screens here in the stadium. I can tell you I managed it. They were just going through their pre-match rehearsals here ahead of the game, and they've just gone quiet just in time for us as well. But yes, listen, we're here to talk football because I am just a few feet away from the pitch where history could take place. Scotland aiming for that first win at a World Cup since 1990, and could that be crucial in getting them out of the group stages for the first time ever? Well, I can tell you it is 2 o'clock here local time. It is sweltering heat. Thankfully the game tomorrow is at 9 o'clock local time, so it'll probably drop from the high 30s, or 30 degrees that it is now, to maybe somewhere a little bit chillier in the mid-20s if we're lucky. Speaking of lucky for Scotland fans, Scott McTominay is back. He was training today. What a sight that was for everyone to see. The talisman fit and ready after that stomach bug. So the training session seemed very in high spirits. Steve Clarke himself was in a great mood, and we were also very lucky to speak to the Scotland head coach a little earlier. Well, good to see you, Steve. How are you feeling?
Hot. It's very hot standing here doing this interview. Thankfully tomorrow night, 9 o'clock kick-off, should be a little bit cooler. We're in a good place. Waited a long time to be at a World Cup, so we're in a good place.
It felt like everything was in a good place up at training this morning. Obviously there was a big boost with Scott McTominay being able to be back training. That must really put your mind at ease.
No, it was never a big issue. Tummy ache. Scott, what are you going to do? We'll just keep you inside for a day. It was never a big issue, so I wasn't surprised. I knew he was going to be on the pitch. You guys get a little bit excited about something like that, but no problems.
We've got to talk about something, don't we? But talk to me about your experience. I mean, looking around here now, it must feel pretty real for you, but everything you've achieved in your career, gone through, I know you've been in the stadium before as well, haven't you? But how different does this feel from everything you've experienced?
It's obviously a big stage. It's just taking 20 minutes to come through security, which is completely different. You know, you just feel right from the qualification, coming out here to do the pre-camp, look where we're going to go. The build-up's been amazing. I spent a long time travelling back and forward, make sure we get the base right. We've done that. And then you're ready to go. You know, you look around the stadium, fantastic stadium, over 60,000 people here tomorrow, hopefully, and lots of noise and a great game on the pitch with the right end result.
So even you have to go through security to get in here?
Everybody's going to go through security for this tournament, which is right.
Steve, good luck. We appreciate your time and we look forward to seeing how it all pans out tomorrow.
Thanks, Lewis. You've got a little bug on your hair as well.
Oh.
Just there.
Thanks for that. You got it? Thank you. Great spirits indeed. And I can tell you Scotland are officially here on the world stage, because out of nowhere it's just started raining. I can't quite believe it. But we're going to go from here to the Scotland House fan zone, where our reporter Sheila McLaren is, and she was joined earlier by a special guest.
I'm with a man who knows all about playing for Scotland. Neil, we heard the news today that Scott McTominay is going to be fit for tomorrow. How big a bonus is that?
That's huge. He's such an important member of the squad, but bigger than that, it's his influence he has on the team. He's a first pick, of course, for everybody, I think. I don't know what it quite was that he had, but whatever it is, to see him back on the grass and ready to go is massive for everybody with a Scotland mind.
In terms of the game itself, how important is this one for getting out of the group?
I think it's huge. There's a lot of talk saying, do we rest guys because we've got past Haiti and then go into the Morocco game and the Brazil game? I think this is the biggest game. We get 3 points against Haiti, then we're off and running, and then you can start to look ahead and go into that Morocco game in a much better position and potentially just a fraction off already qualified. So this is huge. It won't be easy. I think everybody thinks this is going to be a walkover. It's not. They're a good side. I watched them against Peru. Very dangerous on a counter-attack, and we'll need to be mindful of that. I think we'll play in an aggressive nature. I think Stevie hopefully will go with the two strikers, but he's got other decisions to make. But whatever it is, I just feel like the team are in such a good spot right now.
What about the conditions? We know ourselves how hot, how hot we are here. They've done a lot of preparation though in Charlotte. How much will that stand them in good stead for this game?
It'll definitely help them. They were already doing stuff, I don't know if it's commonly known, but they were doing stuff back home before they came out to the States. Sauna work and all that, just try to get used to sitting in heat. Nothing prepares you for this. I mean, we've been standing about this fan park for about half an hour. I can't wait to get the top off, but no for this show. But for the players, it doesn't matter how much preparation you do. When it gets live in a stadium that is packed, it's just going to generate and radiate more heat. That's going to be difficult, and that's why Stevie rightly said it's going to be about the squad and not the first 11.
There's been a lot of complaints about these water breaks, but they'll need them tomorrow, won't they?
Yeah, and beer breaks as well, in equal measure for the fans. But of course, the players are going to have to really kind of get fluids into them. They'll be full of You know, the modern science now with sports science is so up to speed, and I think the staff have done a brilliant job in preparing them up to this point. It's important that they continue that during the game.
How confident are you?
Massively confident, yeah, I'm hugely confident given our last couple of results, and I know it's not be brilliant opposition you can say in terms of top notch, but how we have approached that and how we've dealt with certain situations in games, scoring goals is really impressive. I think we'll do the business tomorrow night, and by the way, I'll take a 1-0. I don't need 3 and 4. A 1-0, get into the Morocco game with a win under our belt, brilliant position to be in.
Well, there you go. Neil's confident, the fans here are confident. Roll on tomorrow night.
And there is plenty more football to keep you entertained between now and Scotland's game. There are the two co-hosts in action across the course of the next few hours. Co-hosts Canada play Bosnia, while the USA play host to Paraguay. So 4 games between now and the one that matters the most to all of us. But yes, you've heard so many cliches, to be quite blunt, between November when we qualified for the World Cup and now, haven't you? 28 years, yes, a whole generation that haven't seen Scotland at a World Cup. This matters to so many people. You just have to look at what you've seen on this programme tonight. The distance fans have travelled, the money they've spent, the heartbreak that some have suffered from having their ESTAs denied. There's so many stories of just how much this means to the supporters. And that is the weight that those players will carry when they go onto that pitch tomorrow. They know that they have a responsibility to turn up and represent the nation that backs them so passionately. They stepped up when it mattered against Denmark to get here. Can they step up on the grandest stage of all tomorrow against Haiti in the World Cup? Let's hope so. Back to you, Laura.
Hear, hear, Lewis. Thank you very much indeed. Now, from Boston, let's go back in time to Busby, where a young Andy Robertson, seen here as a fresh-faced teenager, would dream of pulling on that iconic dark blue jersey for his country at a World Cup. Well, those dreams are on the verge of coming true, with Andy captaining the side and on course to become the most capped player in Scotland's history before long. Selina Jackson has been along to his former primary, St Joseph's in East Renfrewshire.
World Cup fever has well and truly taken hold at St Joseph's. It was here that Andy Robertson started to develop his craft and his love for the game. And by the looks of things, that passion has rubbed off.
So excited because I've not seen them in the World Cup before, so it's so excited.
There's so much excitement in here today. Are you going to have the energy left to watch the game after all of this party?
Yes, definitely.
The school has spent the day gearing up for Sunday's match with training sessions, live music and face painting.
For the pupils and teachers here, it's a brilliant opportunity to celebrate Scottish success, encourage future talent and, let's be honest, have a party. But while I may not have brought my traffic cone with me, I couldn't let the kids have all the fun.
The very aptly named Mrs. Wynne taught Andy as a youngster here and says the next generation can learn a lot from him.
His demeanour, his humility, he's a very humble pupil when he was here, very polite, and just it seems very tenacious because we know that his path hasn't been straightforward. He's definitely had challenges in his career, but the tenacity that he's shown, the resilience is such a good kind of lesson for our children.
Someone who's followed Andy's journey more closely than most is his former high school PE teacher.
I always say that in this day and age there's not many positive role models out there for young people, so we always use Andy as that positive figure because they can actually relate to him because he came through these classrooms, he walked on the same streets as these young people.
And on a personal level there must be some serious bragging rights that comes with this now.
Yeah, there is, to be fair. I do watch Andy play football, especially in the international stage. I feel immense pride.
And just in case anyone has missed the World Cup hype around these parts, even the council is getting involved.
We're now renaming East Renfrewshire East Roboshire for the length of the duration of the World Cup, for as long as Scotland's in it, so hopefully more than a couple of weeks.
So what kind of legacy could Andy Robertson have here in East Renfrewshire?
And do you think one of you could make a future Scotland captain one day?
Yes.
All of you do?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Well, you heard it here first. St Joseph's could be one to watch again in the future. Selina Jackson reporting Scotland, Busby.
Well, for children, this will be the very first time they've seen Scotland at a World Cup. We sent Cameron Buttle to ask them some tough questions at the Youngsters Football Club in Melrose.
Go on, Harris. Go on, Harris. Well done.
I'm looking forward to the World Cup, and I hope Scotland wins. I think that's going to be a close call because, there's a lot of good teams in the final, but I don't know, they're all good.
So why are you wearing a Brazil top?
Because I kind of support Brazil, but I don't think it's the best team. Who do I want to win? I want Scotland to win, but I know they're not going to win really. So I want England. So I think England's going to win. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think Scotland's going to win.
You think they'll win the entire tournament?
Yeah.
You don't think anybody else might win it?
Maybe England, because they've got a really good player.
Stay on them, stay on them, stay on them!
I think they're going to do really well, hoping to get out the Europe stage, and I'm really excited for it.
Are you supporting anybody else other than Scotland?
No. I'm a loyal Scottish supporter.
I'm guessing the fact that you are wearing an England shirt, who you might be supporting.
Yeah, I am supporting England, if that's what you're thinking.
I am. And are you looking forward to the World Cup, and how do you think Scotland will do?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the World Cup, and I think Scotland will get knocked out in the group stage.
If Scotland perhaps get knocked out, would you look at supporting anybody else?
Probably France, maybe even England. I'd probably want Portugal to win because one of my favourite players, Cristiano Ronaldo.
I'll be back with more from the Reporting Scotland studio at the end of the programme, but now it's back over to Amy in Boston.
Thanks very much, Laura. We are here at Scotland House where, as you can tell, the party is still going. We've got some pipes now, so safe to say the atmosphere is certainly ramping up. But in amongst all the singing and the dancing, there's been some quite intense discussions amongst the fans. Line up Steve Clarke will go for, what kind of formation, all the big decisions that he's going to make. And somebody that knows better than most of us and somebody that's got a closer connection certainly to that current squad is former Scotland international Stephen O'Donnell, who of course, we need to remind you, of course, helped us get back to the Euros after what was a very long wait as well. Stephen, how's it feeling being on this side of things? Do you still miss being in amongst the camp and the squad?
Of course I still miss it, but obviously standing here in the swelter and heat, I'm getting pretty excited for this game because we've waited since '98 to be here. You can see when you look around the atmosphere, everything's building, and I'm just so excited to be part of it. Obviously, we'd love to be part of the playing side of it. I miss it. Playing for your country was incredible, but the team here is going to have a great chance of getting out of the group, and let's hope we can.
We were talking about with Chris McLaughlin earlier just the fact that there feels now a bit of an expectation that the last couple of Euros it's been more about getting there, and then maybe the performances haven't quite met the expectation of not just obviously the fans but the players and the management as well. Do you think that's something that we'll see different this time?
I hope so. I obviously don't know for definite, but what I do know is this squad has been growing since I was in it. It's been improving. And not only has the squad been improving, but the management team has. Steve Clarke spoke about it. He's learned a lot from his experiences, and I'm sure the media, everyone's learning. It's a constant learning cycle when you come away to new experiences. And look, I'm excited. I think the team's good enough. If we have a pretty strong squad, if they're all fit, and I expect us to have a good performance against Haiti.
Take us into that setup, if you like. What's it like the night before a big game? We talk about the fact that the Tartan Army are they're full of life here, they're partying, they're well into the night, I'm sure. But what will it be like in that hotel?
Look, I think now the nerves will start to crank up a wee bit. They probably went for a walk. I hope it wasn't too long because, as I said, the heat's ridiculous. But going a wee walk, the team will be pretty much picked now. You'll know who's playing and who's not, and they'll have a right opportunity to start to kind of focus in, maybe tell their family if they're playing that last few bit of excitement. And I'm sure there'll be some nerves. There was when I was involved with myself. Maybe that's where I went wrong. But look, I think expectations are now a wee bit higher, especially going into the first game against Haiti. But with the previous experiences we can draw on, for example, the Czech Republic game, the first time round was possibly the easiest game, and we kind of flopped a bit. So hopefully we can draw on that experience, the ones that were there, and get a really good, big, positive performance.
Well, let's hope you are right. Stephen O'Donnell, thank you very much. I know you've got some other media duties to do, so we better let you go. Well, from someone who's been in the Scotland squad a little bit more recently, we're going to now hear from two men who were part of that France 1998 squad. They've got more than 80 caps between the two of them, and as much as the memories have been coming back for all the fans who were in France back in 1998, it also really has been coming back for the players, including Kevin Gallagher and Darren Jackson, who I and Stephen Mills spoke to ahead of tomorrow's Saturday show.
And there are the Scotland team. They have just arrived here at the Stade de France, and as you can see, they are resplendent in Highland dress. Scotland's kilted warriors. We can just imagine what must be going through those Scottish players' minds. Colin Hendry leading out Scotland. Dunga leads out Brazil. And they are acclaimed by the spectators in the stadium, who on a cue hold up the cards under everyone's seat to present Coupe du Monde, the World Championship.
In terms of just the end picture there, you said you're quite an emotional man, Darren. How do you feel looking
honestly,
at that?
I swear to God, I don't want to start crying. It's just incredible to look at that and think it was 28 years ago, but you were there. That's you in that picture, and you're representing your country at a World Cup, and it's just, I'm proud, very proud.
Childhood dreams come true.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Looking forward, we've seen the Scotland players, the pictures of them getting on the plane and arriving in the States, and when you're looking at those players, knowing that you've once been in that position, what would you be saying to them?
Enjoy it. Just go and enjoy it. You know, it's a big occasion, and don't let it pass you by. You know, and that's the thing. You've got to go and absorb everything that happens, the matches, the atmosphere around it. And the good thing about them now is that their families will be able to take it on videos, so it's not VHS and it's packed away. So they'll be able to come back and see the other side of the game quite frequently and quite quickly.
And I don't want to take anything away from them, and I don't mean to, but they've got a wee bit luck in their side that there's 48 teams. Don't even think about any Morocco and Brazil. Just think about Haiti, because that game could actually take you through, and they'll be legends forever.
And you can listen to the full interview on the Saturday show tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. on BBC Radio Scotland and on Sounds. Now, the main complaint from those of us here in Boston has been the heat, the humidity for the fans. It's been unbearable as they walk from bar to bar. But can you imagine walking across the entire United States? That is exactly what Craig Ferguson has done. It was a challenge that he set himself to walk 3,000 miles, more than that in fact, from LA right here to Boston in time for tomorrow's game. It was all in the hope of raising £1 million in awareness for the mental health charity SAMH, and quite incredibly, as you're seeing right now in the last couple of minutes, he's completed that challenge. He's arrived in Boston Common, and you can see the thousands of Scotland fans that have arrived to join him. So we'll no doubt be hearing from Craig very soon. Laura, that is all from us here at Scotland House. As I'm sure you can hear, the party is really just getting started, and whatever you're doing back at home, enjoy the game tomorrow.
Amy, to you and the team, thank you very much indeed. Now, Scotland's got no shortage of football anthems. From Flower of Scotland to Yes Sir, I Can Boogie, there are plenty to choose from. Well, now there's one more. Football writer and musician JJ Bull's The Very Unofficial Scotland World Cup song has become a surprise hit. He told us all about it.
Hampden Park kinda sucks, but I will go there anyway. I think that we might lose, but I will go there anyway.
I am JJ Bull, the greatest ever international football music superstar sensation. I made the very unofficial Scotland World Cup song because it came to me. It was given to me as a gift by the universe, and I thought it sounded good, and it's been remarkably well received. I've heard very few messages of hatred so far.
The Scotland dominate. With a bicycle kick. I know he's gone.
I think it's different to traditional World Cup songs. You know, you want to support Scotland at the World Cup. So the World Cup's obviously an amazing thing, and you forget everything else going on in the world when that's on. So that's a good thing. I think we've done enough of the, oh, we're so happy to be involved. Oh, glorious defeat. I think if you make that, you keep saying that, you manifest it. And so I think we should just stop doing that. And we should be a bit happier.
I know he's gonna score. He's Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay, Ballon d'Or. Scott
McTominay, Ballon d'Or, in my eyes, has already won that trophy. So, what more does he have to prove? Do we need him to get the trophy, or can he not just be the Ballon d'Or in our hearts? I think that's all we need. I might just be getting on the World Cup hype train now. I think that's probably what it is.
Well, as we count down to the big night, a few faces you might recognise have some encouraging words for the team.
I know in my heart you're going to do a magnificent job. You're a great team.
I want to wish the boys, Steve, everyone is out there in America right now for the World Cup. Good luck. The whole nation is behind you. We'll be cheering you on. And honestly, let's do it. Let's do it for Scotland.
All the best. Just you guys getting there, the whole team, the whole squad, just being there and being part of it is what matters.
The stage is set. The team's ready. The nation's ready. Let's do this.
Wishing you all the best, Scotland. It's been a while since we've been in the finals. So long that I actually had hair.
Hopefully, we'll bring it home.
Hello, Scotland squad. I'm so proud of you. I know we're all going to be rooting for you. You have courage in your hearts and magic in your feet, and you're going to be great. Take care.
I cannot wait to see you walk out on the pitch and do us absolutely proud.
Got a good feeling about this. I think this is going to be our year.
You've scored 4 goals in the last 2 games. Just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Just keep scoring 4 goals, and if they score less than 3, then we're laughing.
Good luck, Scotland. Smash it.
The best wishes of everyone in Scotland to our national team for a really successful World Cup.
Win the games. Use your wee feet and kick the balls in the net.
Come on, boys, you can do it.
We're all behind you. The whole country is behind you. We're so excited for this World Cup.
Go Scotland!
Go Scotland!
No matter what, you know that we are all incredibly proud of you.
Enjoy your football. And if you enjoy your football, it works.
Hey, come on, us, Scotland! He's a goal at least, got it?
Well, you know, it's easy to focus ahead to who might actually win the trophy, but actually sometimes it's good to celebrate the journey, because in the early hours of Sunday morning, kids in jammies, friends in pubs and Scots around the world will make a memory together.
For too long, Scotland have been off the world stage, consigned to a watching brief back home, while the greatest show on earth thunders on without them. Adams, good touch, 1-0! Robertson across, it's McTominay! What a brilliant goal! And that will do it! And now Scotland trying to dig themselves out of a hole, and Gannon Dock's there! Robertson needs to be good, it is! It's Christie! Stad jolt of light coming from Scandinavia right now. 2-2 between Denmark and Belarus. It's game on Tuesday against the Danes at Hampden.
The hopes of a nation, or at least a very large part of it, depend on the efforts and those players in dark blue here tonight.
One win, just one win, and almost 3 decades of failure will fade into the annals. Gannon Doak with the tricks and McTominay! He's done it! Oh, great goal! McTominay! Comes on the keeper! Ferguson's header given away, but it breaks to Tierney!
Kieran Tierney!
Man, they've given it away. Shoot! Here's McLean. He's going to shoot.